Hello friends, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss Introduction to Machine Language. In the previous tutorial, we understood what is a computer. Computer is an electronic device. It takes data as an input, processes it and gives information as an output. Computer is used to solve real-world problems quickly and efficiently. Computer has no self-intelligence or natural intelligence like humans. We need to tell a computer what to do step by step in a specific order. A process or a way of telling a computer what to do in a specific order is known as programming. Programming is a way of communication between programmers and machines. To help programmers to communicate with machines over the years, many programming languages have been designed or developed. They are low-level programming languages and high-level programming languages. Low-level programming languages are again divided into two different types: machine-level programming languages and assembly-level programming languages. High-level programming languages are divided into two different types: general-purpose programming language and specific-purpose programming language. After that, we learned how to learn a programming language itself. First, we learn character set of that programming language. Then we learn tokens available in that programming language. We understand the meanings of those tokens. Then we learn how to write commands, how to write instructions. Then we learn how to write programs by combining these instructions or commands. How to create software itself by combining these programs, making these programs interact. We can't use human languages to tell computer what to do because computer doesn't know or understand human languages. It has its own language called as machine language or binary language. So to communicate with computer or machines, we have to learn machine language. Machine languages are first generation languages. What is a machine language? Machine language is a set of instructions or commands containing only zeros and ones. Set of instructions or commands containing only zeros and ones. Machine instructions are directly executed by computers or machines because they can understand machine language easily. Here we have a simple code written in a machine language for a hypothetical machine or an example machine that we are going to take soon. Before we understand what is this code means, I am going to discuss about two different number systems. They are binary number system and decimal number system, which are most important as a programmer to know. Binary number system contains only two digits, 0 and 1, whereas decimal number system contains 10 digits, 0 to 9. Bi means 2, hence we have only two digits, 0 and 1. Decimal number system, deci means 10, so we have 10 digits, 0 to 9. Machine language or computers use binary number system to represent data. Everything they represent in zeros and ones. Even information is displayed in the form of zeros and ones. Here we have a list of binary equivalent of decimal numbers 0 to 9. To represent a decimal number 0 in binary number system, we write 00. To represent a decimal number 4 in binary number system, we write 100. To represent a decimal number 8 in binary number system, we write 1000. Representing the decimal number in a binary number system, it depends on the machine, bit size. Now, what is a bit actually? Bit means either 0 or 1. Bit is a short form of binary digit. Either you can say binary digit or you can simply say bit. A 0 is a binary digit or bit. 1 is a binary digit or bit. Sequence of 4 bits is called as nibble, N-I-B-B-L-E. Sequence of 8 bits is called as byte. Sequence of 16 bits is called as word. Sequence of 32 bits is called as double word. Sequence of 64 bits is called as long word. If a machine is a 2-bit machine, then to represent decimal numbers, we use two positions. If a machine is a 4-bit machine, to represent a decimal number in a binary number system, we use 4 positions. If a machine is a 8-bit machine, then we use 8 positions to represent a decimal number in a binary number system. If it is a 16-bit, of course 16 positions, and so on. Here you can see that to represent a decimal number 0, in a 2-bit machine we write 0, 0. If a machine is a 4-bit machine, same decimal number 0 we represent by writing 0, 0, 0, 0. Same decimal number we represent in an 8-bit machine by writing 8 zeros. To represent a decimal number 1 in a binary number system with respect to 2-bit machine, we write 0, 1. Same decimal number 1 with respect to 4-bit machine in a binary number system, we write 0, 0, 0, 1, and so on. If a machine is a 2-bit machine, then we can represent 2 raised to the power of 2, which is equal to 4. 4 decimal numbers we can represent. If a machine is a 4-bit machine, 2 raised to the power of 4 is equal to how much? Is equal to 16. So we can represent 16 decimal numbers. If a machine is a 8-bit machine, 2 raised to the power of 8, which is equal to 256 numbers we can represent, or 256 decimal numbers we can easily represent. Now we learned what is binary number system, what is decimal number system. We understood what is a bit, what is a byte, and how do we represent decimal numbers with respect to different machines, and what are the possibilities. We humans are good at decimal number system, whereas computers or machines are good at binary number system. If anybody says, what is the sum of 2 and 2? I can very easily say 4. What is the sum of 4 and 4? I can very easily say 8. Because in our day-to-day life, we use decimal number system for counting, for calculating. We understand what is 2, what is 4, what is 8. We know how to add these decimal numbers. Whereas computer doesn't know what is this 2, what is this 4, what is this 8, because there is no such a digit available with respect to binary number system, because binary number system has only zeros and ones. So to tell the computer add 2 and 2, give me the result, then we have to convert those decimal numbers to binary numbers. Then we have to give them to computer, so that computer understand those binary numbers and perform the operation and gives a result. Here comes the importance of converting decimal numbers to binary numbers. How do we convert a decimal number to a binary number? 3 different steps we are going to follow. Step 1. Divide the decimal number by 2 and write the remainder either 0 or 1 in front of the quotient. Step 2. Divide each new quotient by 2 until you get the quotient 1. Step 3. Starting with the first remainder to the last quotient, write down the sequence from right to left. Simple. For example, if I have to convert a decimal number 2 to a binary number, we are going to divide it by 2. Then we calculate 2 1s are 2, remainder will be 0. This is how we are going to write. This is a step 1. Divide by 2, write the remainder, and we have written that also. Divide each new quotient by 2 until you get the quotient 1. Already I got the quotient 1. Next step is starting with the first remainder to the last quotient, write down the sequence from right to left. So 0, 1 is actually equivalent to a decimal number 2 in binary number system. If it is a 2-bit machine, to represent 2 we write 1 0. Right, you can see that one. Here we have 1 0 with respect to 2-bit machine. If it is a 4-bit machine, definitely I have to add 2 extra zeros. If it is a 8-bit machine, of course we have to add 4 more zeros here to represent 2 with respect to 8-bit machine. Similarly, if I have to say 4, so how do you calculate 4? So 4, you write a 4 divided by 2. 2 2s are 4, remainder will be 0. Then 2 1s are 2, remainder will be 0. Then what we have to do? We have to write the sequence from first remainder to the last quotient from right to left. So we write here 0, 0, 1. This is actually 4. If it is a 4-bit machine, we write 1 0. If it is a 8-bit machine, then we write 4 more zeros. So this indicates 4 with respect to 8-bit machine in a binary number system. Similarly, you can calculate for 8, any other number. I suggest you people to try yourself, like how you convert decimal number to a binary number. Simple thing. Next, of course, now we know how to convert a decimal number to a binary number. And now you can see here we have 1 0 and 1 0. And you can see 1 0 indicates 2 in a binary number system. Then the computer performs the operation. Once it performs the operation, it gives us the result back 1 0 0. If it is a 3-bit machine, it returns 1 0 0. If it is a 4-bit machine, it returns 0 1 0 0. Now what that indicates, 1 0 0, it indicates 4, guys, right? Just now we have converted 4 to a binary number. Also we need to learn whether the return output is correct or not by converting a binary number to a decimal number. So how do you convert a binary number to a decimal number? That is also one of the most important concept you need to learn. So how do you convert? Simple thing, you have to follow this formula. Get the sum of each bit multiplied by 2 to the power of its position. If I have to convert 1 0 0 binary number to a decimal number, I have to get the sum of each digit 1 0 0 here, each digit multiplied by 2 to the power of its position. So you should start the digit counting from 0. Okay, you can think like this 0 is at 0th position, this 0 is at 1st position, this 1 is at the 2nd position. So here I am going to write 2 raised to the power of 0, 2 raised to the power of 1, 2 raised to the power of 2. Then we are going to calculate. So 2 to the power of 0 is 1 multiplied by 0. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1, guys. Plus 2 to the power of 1 is 2 multiplied by 0. Plus 2 to the power of 2 is 4 multiplied by 1. Now if you calculate, you are going to get the result as 4, and that is what we got here, which is correct. Now we can understand properly whether the computer has given a proper output or not. Simple thing. Now we know how to convert a binary number to decimal number also. Very good. And also I am going to discuss how binary numbers we can add. We know how to add decimal numbers. That is simple. How do we add binary numbers? How do we add means, let's take, if it is a 4-bit machine, we write 0010 to represent decimal number 2 plus 0010, that is also decimal number 2. How do we add now? 0 plus 0 is 0, that is correct. 1 plus 1 is how much? It is 2. I cannot write 2 here because in binary number system we have only 1 and 0. So first thing, we are going to take the binary equivalent of 2, that is 1 0. What we do means, we remove this 2, we write 0 here. Okay, that is this 0 we write here, or computer writes 0 here, you can think like that. And this 1 will be carried to the next position. 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0. So the final output that we got is 0 1 0 0, which is actually 4. This is how we are going to add binary numbers. Hope you guys have understood how do we add binary numbers. Very good. So now we understood what is binary number system, how to convert decimal number to a binary number to a decimal number, how to add binary numbers. Let's understand what this code means with respect to a hypothetical machine that we have here. Here I am taking a computer which is created or manufactured by some company 1, and it is of 8-bit computer. We are taking an example of a computer created by or manufactured by some company and which is a 8-bit machine. If you want to write a code or tell something to do to this computer, first thing is you need to understand what are the tokens of this computer. So here we have some tokens written. 0001 indicates the load command or a load token. 0101 indicates the add command. 1010 indicates the print command with respect to this hypothetical machine. So here I have some steps written. First step is understand the architecture of the computer or processor. So to this computer we have a CPU or a processor, whatever it is, or we can just say computer itself. We understand the architecture. In the architecture we know that okay, it is a 8-bit computer, that we know that. And of course it has some memory. A computer has some memory. You can see that. And here we have different registers of that computer. Just assume that there is a register called as A, register called as B, register called as C, and each register has some address. Here register A has the address 00000001. Register B has the address 00000010. Register C has some address 00000011. So every computer is going to have some general purpose registers which we can program. And of course if you want to know more about computers or processors, I suggest you people to search in Google and get some more information. It's very simple. Okay, now we understood, okay, this is a 8-bit machine and it has some registers which we can program. We have the names also here, A, B, C, and their address also we have. And we understood the tokens. Know the commands available. Of course now we know the commands available. 3 commands we know. Maybe this computer has hundreds of commands, but here we have listed 3 commands which are required to write some code. Then we write the program. Of course we are going to write the program. Here we have written a program. And how do we write a program? Program is a set of instructions. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 instructions written. Each instruction is divided into 3 different sections. First we write the opcode. Next we write the address. Next we write either a value or address. Here opcode means operation code that indicates the command itself. So here we have load operation, add operation, print operation. We want to tell the computer to perform addition of 2 numbers. Very simple instruction we have here. 0001. What is that indicates with respect to this computer? 0001 indicates the load operation. Okay, we are telling to the computer load. Address we have written here, at this address. Now this address indicates the A register. At this address put this value. So what computer does? It takes that value, puts that in the specific address that we mentioned. Next computer moves to the next statement. It takes the next statement, and there also we are telling load at this address this value. What computer does? It takes that value and puts that in the specified address. Simple thing. That is how the computer works. It always executes the code from left to right, top to down, one after the another. It will execute the instructions. Then it goes to the next instruction. What we are telling here, 0101. 0101 indicates the add operation. So we are telling add the value at this address and the value at this address, put the result back to this address. That is how it works. So what computer does? It adds these 2 values. So when we add these 2 values, the output that we are going to get is 00000100, which is 4, that is placed by the computer. So it adds both the values and put the result back in the specified address, that is A register. It puts there. Then what computer does? It goes to the next statement. There we are telling 1010. 1010 indicates the print command with respect to this machine. We are telling to print the value at this address, and the value at that address is this. So computer is going to display that on the screen. Now we should be able to convert this binary value, the result, to decimal number and understand whether it is proper or not. So here it comes the importance of converting the binary number to a decimal number. Hope you guys have understood what this machine code indicates. For every computer there will be a manual which is going to contain the binary equivalent of each operation, and also it is going to contain the instructions, how you should write the instructions for that computer. So with respect to the machine language, of course you need to understand the machine architecture. That is most important. What are the registers present in that architecture or with the processor or a machine? What is the bit size of that computer? Most important. Let's proceed further and understand some pros and cons of the machine language. Pros of machine language are: codes written in a machine language are directly executed by the CPU. Hence, code execution will be faster because no translation needed. It makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because you can see here we have person A and person B. Both of them know English language. If person A tells something to person B, he can understand because he knows English, and then he can reply back in English language. Person A can understand. They can do conversation easily. They can talk without any problem. Here we have a person A and person B. Again, both of them know Hindi language. If person A tells something in Hindi, person B can understand because he knows Hindi. If person B tells something to person A, he can understand because he also knows Hindi. There will be no communication problem. They can do conversation quickly and efficiently. Similarly, if a programmer knows machine language very well, something if he tells in machine language to the computer, of course computer also knows machine language, hence it can understand, perform the operation, give the result back in machine language, and the programmer can understand that machine language and he do the conversation. So there will be no problem with communication if both of us know the machine language. That is the reason we need to learn machine language. But there are some disadvantages or cons of machine language. What are they? It is very difficult to write programs in machine language. It takes too much time to write programs. The reason is everything we have to give to a computer in zeros and ones. Just now we have seen that if we have to tell computer to perform just addition of two numbers, I have to convert those decimal numbers to the binary numbers, right? Then I have to give it to the computer. Once the output is given, that also I have to convert the binary number that it has given us back. We have to convert back to the decimal number and understand whether it has given the proper output or not. And we have to write the complete code in machine language itself in zeros and ones. It is very difficult to write codes. It is difficult to remember binary equivalents of every command. We need to remember all those binary equivalents. Then only we can write the machine code. It is difficult to debug or remove bugs or errors. Of course, here we have a very small code written for adding two numbers. If we have a program which contains 1000 lines of code, instead of writing a 1, if I have written somewhere 0, it is very difficult to identify where I made a mistake. Instead of writing a 0, if I have written 1 in some place, it is very difficult to identify where we make a mistake. Of course, human does mistakes. Of course, we do mistakes while writing programs. It is very difficult to debug or remove those errors or identify where we made a mistake. Another disadvantage or limitation is programs written in a machine language are platform dependent. What is the meaning of platform? Platform means combination of hardware and a software that we have. For example, if I have written a code or a program for some machine which is 8-bit machine and maybe the processor is 8085 processor, I have written some program for this machine, for this platform. Okay, if it has a 8-bit OS, you can say. If I try to execute the same program on another platform which might be a 16-bit machine or a maybe 8-bit machine only, maybe it has a processor of 8086 processor. If I try to execute the same code on another platform, it won't get executed because machine codes are platform dependent. That means machine instructions, the commands binary equivalent for different machine will be different. For example, if I have to perform the same addition of two numbers on another platform, here I have another computer manufactured by another company. Maybe company 2 has manufactured a computer which is of 8-bit computer, they will be having their own commands and binary equivalents. So here instead of load, we have move immediately command. For that the binary equivalent is 1101. For add command, binary equivalent is 0101. For instead of print, here we have a display command, and display has a binary equivalent 1010. And maybe it has different registers, R1, R2, R3 instead of A, B, C registers. Of course, we have to understand the architecture, then only we can write the code. We have to understand the commands available, then only we can write a machine code for that computer, right? So here you can see that to perform the same addition of two numbers, we have a different code. Here we have 0001 to indicate the load operation. Here we have 1101 to indicate the MVI, that is move immediately command. Here we have written the code is 1101 that indicates move immediately this value to this address. So what computer does, it takes that value, puts that in the specified address, which is the register 1. Then computer moves to the next instruction, and we are telling again 1101. 1101 indicates move immediately. We are telling move immediately this value to this address. So computer takes that value and puts that in the specified address. Then what we are telling, then the computer moves to the next instruction. We are telling 0101. For this computer, 0101 indicates the add command. We are telling add the value at this address and this address, put the value in this address, that is the result. What computer does, it performs the addition operation and then it puts the result in the specified address, that is 00000100. Then computer moves to the next instruction. There we are telling 1010 indicates the display command with respect to this computer. What we are telling, display value at this address. So the computer displays that value on the screen. So that is the meaning. We cannot execute the same code on another platform. That is called as platform dependent. Machine codes are platform dependent. The binary equivalents for different commands will be different in different platforms. So we need to understand the architecture, we need to understand the commands available and their binary equivalent, then we have to write the code. So you can think like for every other platform we have to write different code. So it is very difficult to learn, to write the codes, to remember the binary equivalents, to debug the errors, and also as it is a platform dependent, we have to understand the platform first, then we have to write code separately for separate platforms, right? There are so many disadvantages we have with respect to the machine language, or you can say limitations of machine language. To overcome some of the limitations of machine language, assembly languages are designed. For example, assembly languages are going to contain English-like statements. Instead of writing the codes in zeros and ones, we have to write English-like commands. And of course, it is easy to debug because the programs written in assembly language are in English-like statements. We discuss about assembly language in the next tutorial. For this tutorial, this much is enough, friends. Hope you guys have understood. For more benefits, please subscribe, like, comment and share. See you in the next tutorial. Keep learning, keep coding, keep sharing these videos.